it's Ella. Long time no talk. I am so sorry for the last 3 weeks. I have been completely MIA. I've just been super busy. I finished up my junior year. I went to California for VidCon. There's just been a lot going on, but I am back and I have like 17 million videos that I am filming today and getting put up for you guys in the next the summer. I'm so excited. So before I get into this story time, I wanted to just address a couple things. First of all, I am back to blonde. I really liked trying out dark brown for a while and kind of seeing how I like the different hair color, but I'm a blondie at heart and I'm really glad that I switched back. Also, it's just like natural curly today, so like don't mind it being a little bit messy. I didn't have time to style it before I filmed, but it's just, you know what, we're being real here at the story time. I'm telling you about life. It's all good. It's all fine. Another thing I wanted to address is that I'm going to be at BeautyCon July 9th. I'm so excited. Hopefully I meet some of you guys. I just can't wait. I've never been to BeautyCon. I've only been to VidCon. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Let me know in a comment below if you are going to BeautyCon as well. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Nicole Hernandez and her boyfriend Austin Mangle, I'm not sure what their last name is, but they started a vlogging channel called Nicole and Austin, and they, a while ago, I said the 25th subscriber to my vlog channel would get something special, and so Nicole and Austin were my 25th subscriber, and I knew them already, were friends, and so because this wouldn't have happened if it was anybody else, but because they were the 25th subscriber and because I already knew them, they are winning at least a day, maybe a couple days with me at my beach cottage in Michigan. So I'm sure I'll be vlogging while we are all hanging out up there, but I'm really excited to meet new YouTube friends. And yeah, if you guys haven't already, you should go subscribe to Nicole's main channel and Nicole and Austin's vlog channel. I will have them linked down below. That's another prize you guys win. If you're like a certain number of subscribers, I'm gonna link your channel down below, and you're welcome. And without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this story time. So the story starts at VidCon last week. VidCon began on Thursday the 23rd and went through the 25th. I believe that's the right date. So I got there on Wednesday night. Everything was great. I was staying with my friend Laura. We got a hotel room together. It was so much fun. I will link her below too, because we had a blast, and her channel's amazing. I also filmed a video that is up on her channel now, the What I Wore to VidCon. I was the camera woman. Yes, thank you. Anyway, so we were staying at a hotel pretty close to the Anaheim Convention Center, and if you don't know what VidCon is, it's basically a convention where all different YouTubers come and there's panels and like, it's just like, I don't even know how to explain it actually. It's just like a really cool gathering of YouTubers and subscribers, and it's just a big like online video loving community. It was so much fun and you learn a lot too. So we were there for that, and it didn't start till Thursday morning. We got there Wednesday night. So Thursday was great, you know, we went to a bunch of panels, went to a bunch of events. It was all fine and dandy, everybody was good. Friday was great, same thing, same kind of routine. And Saturday started fine. I felt fine, everybody, it was all good. I believe it was my third panel. Yeah, my third panel. It was about halfway through it, maybe 3/4 of the way through it. And I've been feeling totally fine the entire morning. All of a sudden I just felt like really nauseous and like I was gonna pass out, and I just did not feel good at all. And something to know about me is like, I don't get sick to my stomach at all. Like I literally haven't thrown up since I was 9, which I'm very proud of myself for. But so like when I feel nauseous, I know something's really wrong, because I just never do. So I was sitting in the front row, and Laura was sitting next to me, and some really nice girls were sitting on either side of me. We're all having a good conversation before the panel, and I was like, I need to go to the restroom, I need to go home, I need to go lie down, something. Like something was seriously wrong. I didn't know what it was. It would just pass. So I turned to Laura and I said, I'm gonna go back to the hotel for a little while. I didn't even tell her that I was feeling bad. I just said I'm gonna go back to the hotel for a while, with the thought in my head that I would just like nap for a little while and maybe it would wear itself off, or take some ibuprofen or something. And so before I left the convention center, I walked to the restroom and I walked into a stall, and I was feeling really bad at this point. Like I literally thought I was going to pass out on the floor right there. And I sat on the toilet with my pants still on, and I sat there for maybe 10 minutes, and I think I passed out probably briefly for a minute while I was sitting there, and I was so scared. I had no idea what was wrong with me. And also I had flown down to California by myself, so my parents weren't there. It was literally just me and Laura. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know, I obviously can't stay in this bathroom stall forever. I need to either go get help or go back to the hotel or something. But I mean, I just felt so bad, and I was getting kind of freaked out. And so I sat there for a little while, and then I finally felt good enough to like open my eyes and like lift up my head and walk outside. And I'm like, okay, well maybe that just means it was just like a passing nausea. I think it was something I ate or something like that. Maybe I'll be fine. So I walked back to the hotel, which was maybe a 5-minute walk from the convention center, And I get inside and I felt better, like that there was like cool air and everything like that. And there was air conditioning at the convention center too, so it wasn't like a heat reaction or anything like that. And so I lay down in bed and I napped for, I believe, about 4 hours, which I never nap for 4 hours. And finally I woke up because Laura was calling me on the phone and she said she can't get in. She was right outside the hotel door and I locked the deadbolt. So I got up and let her in. And she was like, oh, you know, how are you feeling? Blah, 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 blah. And I said that I was feeling better, but not great. But I thought I would be fine. I thought I probably just slept it off mostly. So we were like, okay, great. It was just probably a passing weird thing, maybe some indigestion or something like that. Like, you're probably fine. So I drank some water. I took some ibuprofen, I think. Even though the thing was hurting, I just felt like kind of nauseous and like I was gonna pass out. And so we were like, okay, well, maybe we should eat dinner because it was like 5 o'clock at this point. And we didn't have a car, so we walked down. We were on like, it was kind of a motel that we were staying at. We were staying on the 2nd floor, so you walk like across and then down the stairs to where the lobby is and everything like that. So we got down there and I was still feeling fine. And then she orders the Uber and the Uber was maybe 6 minutes away. And about 3 minutes into it, I just started feeling awful again. Like, it hit me like a huge wave of feeling so sick. And I was like, I gotta go back to the room. I can't even stand right now. Like, I couldn't. The world was kind of like spinning on me a little bit, but just kind of, it was just really weird. And I thought maybe this is like vertigo, maybe I'm just super dehydrated. I don't know. So we go back to the room. Laura was being a wonderful friend, super nice and like taking care of me. And I lay back down, and as soon as I lay back down, I felt a little bit better, just being in like a horizontal position and not a vertical position. And I was kind of freaking out at this point because I felt really, like, the feeling, I can't even describe it. I just felt so bad. And so eventually we ordered in dinner, and I called my mom on the phone and I asked her what she thought it could be. And she thought it was dehydration maybe, and maybe I wasn't getting enough salt and electrolytes in my water or whatever. So we ordered some salty food for dinner. I got vegan nachos and I was drinking lots and lots of water. And I was thinking, okay, great. Like, after the food I felt a lot better. Actually, I think the salt maybe did help some. And, you know, I wasn't feeling bad at that point. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just sleep it off tonight and I'll be fine by tomorrow. And so we go to bed, and the next morning I felt great. I was like, I am fit as a fiddle. I can take on anything. And at that point there wasn't actually any more of, like, VidCon was over and I had missed the last little part of it, but that was okay. But so that was Sunday morning, and Sunday morning was supposed to be Disney Day, which is where a bunch of people from VidCon go to Disney, and it's like a discounted ticket rate for those people. And there's a group picture and everything like that. And I was super excited because the last time I've been to Disneyland was when I was 6. So we were also packing up and leaving the hotel that morning. So I wake up on Sunday morning, I'm feeling great. I feel like, you know, that was just a weird, probably like not even 24 hour, like a 12-hour bug, maybe something I ate, you know, probably fine. So I'm packing up the room, and I got everything out, and I got my ticket printed, and I put all my stuff into Laura's mom's car because Laura's mom was coming to pick her up to take her back home, and they dropped me off at Disneyland, which was very nice of them. It was like a 10-minute drive maybe from the hotel. And so I left my luggage at the front desk of the hotel so I could pick it up before I went to the airport that night, because what was supposed to happen was I was going to go from the hotel that morning after we checked out, go to Disneyland for the day, walk back to the hotel, grab my luggage, take a shuttle to the airport, and then fly home. And it was all looking like it was going to work out. So I only brought like a little bag of, you know, snacks and just like essentials to Disneyland. So Laura's mom dropped me off at the entrance of Disneyland, which was great, and I got in really fast, and they had already driven away, and so they were gone. Like, they weren't there. It was just me at Disneyland. If you've been to Disneyland before, you know that basically what happens is you walk through a line to get to a bag check and security thing, and they basically just open up your bag and they look through it, and then they send you into this like intermediary zone where you can like buy tickets and sit down for a little bit or get water or whatever, and then you go and actually get your ticket to go into the park. So like, you're not in the park yet, you're just in a little zone where you can buy things basically and get strollers and wheelchairs and all those things. And so I got through the line to the bag check pretty much fine. It was about a 45-minute, maybe 35-minute line. It was a pretty big line because I went at midday, but I felt okay. And then, like, literally as soon as I got to the front of the line where they were checking the bags and like opening them up and looking at them, I started feeling that wave of feeling terrible again. And it was worse this time than any time that I'd had before, like either the night before or like that afternoon before. And so I give my bag to the man, and I was seriously considering just saying to him, listen, I need a first aid kit or something. I need to lie down or whatever, but I didn't for whatever reason. I don't know. And so he gave me my bag back, and then I walked into the intermediary zone, and there was a x-ray machine like they have at airports, or the metal detectors or whatever, that you're supposed to put, you know, your things on a tray and put them through, and then you walk through. And I was feeling really, really bad, but I knew I had to go through that security thing no matter what. And so I walked through it, and again, I was thinking to myself, Ellie, you should tell the security guard you feel terrible. Ellie, you should say something. Ella, say something. And I just didn't. I don't know. But so I get through that, and then I was like, okay, I need to sit down or I'm gonna fall over. And there was this little, not really little, but it was like a, what do you even call it? It was a tree in a circle of dirt, and then the circle of dirt basically had a bench all the way around it, if that makes sense. So I sat down on that, and I put my head between my knees, and I was thinking to myself, I'm going to die. Like, I felt as if I was literally going to drop dead on the spot. I was so freaked out, and so, I just felt so ridiculously awful. And I probably sat there for a little over an hour before I actually did anything, and I believe that I passed out, like, fully for probably about 5 to 10 minutes, just with my head down. Like, I was fading in and out of consciousness. It was really, really bad. And finally, I mustered up the strength to, like, lift up my head. Like, even just lifting up my head and looking at the world hurt so bad. Not even hurt, just felt awful. So I finally get, like, the energy to reach my phone, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I feel really, really terrible. I don't know what to do. I can't even stand up. Like, if I stand up, I'm going to fall over and hit my head on this bench. And the bench was made of brick, so that would be bad. And everything was cement all the way around. And of course she can't do anything because she's 2 states away. My parents are 2 states away. Nobody's there. Laura and her mom are gone. Literally no one, like, is around. My closest relative is currently in San Francisco, I find out in a minute, which is a 4-hour drive from Anaheim. So, after like half an hour of really just sobbing on the phone to my parents, my dad was like, Ellie, you need to stand up and find a Disney employee. You need to tell somebody. And I felt like I was going to die if I stood up. But I finally mustered the strength, and I got up and I walked maybe 10 steps to this little area where they had the strollers and wheelchair people. And I just approached one of the people who was helping people hand out or rent wheelchairs for the day. And I said, I need medical attention. You know, I need help here, talk to my dad. I basically just thrust a phone at her, and she was like, okay, and talked to my dad about what I was feeling, because I was just a mess at this point. And she was super nice, and she went and got her supervisor, whose name was Anthony. Shout out to Anthony at Disneyland. He was great. And he said, okay, we got the medical people on their way, you know, the first aid kit people are on their way. I'm gonna hang out with you until they get here. And I was like, okay, good. So I sat down again on a different part of that bench, and it was in the shade, and at this point I was feeling like I was gonna pass out or throw up, and I wasn't sure which would happen first. And so I was sitting there, and then finally I heard somebody else say something, and I looked up, and there was this paramedic guy, and his name was Tom. Shout out to Tom at Disneyland. Tom at Disneyland was the nicest registered nurse I've ever met in my life, and he was so sweet and so, like, trying to make me feel better, and obviously it wasn't working, but so at this point I have Anthony hanging out with me, and then he leaves to leave me with Tom, and then this other lady who I don't remember her name, but Tom was a nurse, and I believe the other lady was like a doctor or a medical student or something like that. And so they were getting all this information on me, taking my blood pressure, you know, to my temperature, all these different things. It turned out I had a little bit of a fever. I was 99 point something, and they're like, okay, we need to get you to a hospital. And I was like, okay, like at this point I was ready for anything. I was like, you could take me to a hospital, you could just throw me in a mattress store and I could just sleep forever, whatever. And so I really think that I kept fading in and out of consciousness because the time of the event, like the chronological order of events doesn't make sense to me looking back at it. So at some point some paramedics showed up, and they were very, very nice paramedics. They were also really, really cute paramedics. So that helped a lot. So they had, I believe it was 3 guys with one of those stretcher gurney things, and then a woman who came, and she was taking down my medical history and everything like that. And they helped me get onto the stretcher thing, and they rolled me out to the curb. And you'd think that it would be kind of embarrassing to have a bunch of people looking at you, like, as you're getting stretched, like, walking to an ambulance. But everybody just, like, either ignored me or looked like they felt very sorry for me. So it was fine. And also I don't really remember it because I just felt so bad. And so they were talking to me, and they were trying to, like, get information on, like, what it could be that was making me feel so bad, or where my parents were, and all these different things. And we get in the ambulance, and I've never been inside an ambulance before. And they were just, I don't know, like if you're a paramedic or an EMT or anybody who works in the medical field or the emergency rescue field, like firefighters, policemen, all these different things, I have so much respect for you for just what you do. I think it's really, really amazing, and I will be forever grateful to the people that helped me out in this situation. So the woman paramedic or EMT, I don't know, I really don't know the terminology, and I'm sorry if I'm messing it up, but the person in the ambulance, she stayed with me and like, you know, helped me stay calm or whatever during the ambulance ride, and they got me to the hospital very, very quickly. They got me in the ER, and they got a bed for me, and they started taking, you know, all my vital signs and all these different things. And the nurses at the ER and the doctor there were, not all of them were great. They were very, very like busy and rushed, so they were kind of, I don't know, not super thorough, but they got the job done. So I was there, I was talking to my mom on and off, and she called my cousin who was 4 hours away, and he said, okay, we'll drive up right away and come get her, but you know, we're 4 hours away. But it was the best we could do. So I basically laid in the hospital bed for, I think it was about 6 hours actually, because we didn't, maybe it was closer to 5, I'm not really sure. I was there for a very large portion of the day, and it was terrifying, to be honest with you. Like, there was a lady in the room next to me who was crying in Spanish and throwing up every 5 seconds. She just sounded awful. There was a woman across from me who found out that she had ovarian cancer, and also she was pregnant. And then, I mean, it was just a whole host of really, really serious issues. And I felt better now that I was in the bed, but I was still freaked out because no one could figure out what was wrong with me. Like, they gave me an IV of fluids because they were thinking, okay, maybe she's just dehydrated, because my symptoms didn't align with anything really serious. And yeah, so they just gave me an IV bag of fluids, and they kept taking my temperature and all these different things, and my fever came down a little bit. And they just were like, okay, well, we don't have anything else we can really do for you, you know, we're not really sure, so we're just going to discharge you, and you can wait in the waiting room until your cousin gets here. And that was maybe 3 hours in, and I was like, okay, great. You know, I was feeling a lot better at that point. But I told them it came in waves. Like, I'd been feeling better that morning, and I'd been feeling bad the night before, and all these different things, and they were like, oh, yeah, okay, well, like, they didn't really pay attention to that part. And so I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I was sitting there for maybe 5 minutes before I felt the worst wave of nausea and like feeling like I was gonna pass out and die that I've ever had in my entire life out of any of the experiences. And I tried to just sit there and keep quiet, and finally I just like reached out to one of the nurses, and I was like, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to die. Can I get a bed again, please? I think I need to lay down again. And so they got me lying down again, and I still had no idea what was wrong with me. But obviously it was something that wasn't like just resolvable by a lot of fluids, because they were giving me water, they were giving me the IV, all these different things, and it hadn't really helped. So I'm back in bed at this point, and I finally just fall asleep because I'm just so, like, my body is so exhausted, and I just feel so drained from the day. And the lady's still crying in Spanish and throwing up, and this lady's crying over here because she's pregnant and has cancer, and there's a man over here who cut off his finger in a blender, and it's just really a mess. And I woke up because I felt my cousin, like, I felt a very strong arm on my shoulder, a very strong hand on my shoulder, and I looked up and it was my cousin, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're an angel, like, thank you so much. Like, it was so comforting to see a familiar face finally. And so he talked to the doctor, and his wife was there too. They both like helped me get out, and they're like, okay, well, listen, we can, let's go get some food, because I hadn't really eaten all day. The hospital didn't give me anything to eat, which was weird in itself. But he's like, okay, let's get some food, and then if you feel better, you can get in your flight tonight, or if you don't feel better, like, you can totally stay at our house for however long you need and then fly home. Because they actually live near Anaheim, but they were in San Francisco for vacation, so they were nearby. They just weren't there at the moment that I needed them. But so we get out, we get some food. Also, this is actually a very important part of it that I didn't mention before. Like, maybe 10 minutes before they discharged me the first time, I told the lady, I was like, listen, I have a really sore throat all of a sudden. Like, what could that be from? Because I don't think that's from the dehydration or anything. And she looked at my throat. She's like, yeah, your tonsils are pretty big. Maybe you have a cold. And I was like, okay. And they didn't really investigate any further. They didn't even look with a light. She just like glanced in my mouth. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. It doesn't seem like it's connected with dehydration and nausea and feeling like I'm gonna pass out. Like, a sore throat is probably irrelevant. It's probably just talking too much or something. So I didn't pay attention to that. They didn't really pay attention to that. And so they sent me on my merry way with a prescription for some antibiotics, because they thought I had a UTI, a urinary tract infection, which was weird because they didn't have any symptoms of it. Like, usually that means you like it burns when you pee and you like have trouble peeing, and I was like, my pee was fine. So it was very odd that they diagnosed me with that because there was nothing to like point out that that's what it would be. But I trusted them because they were the doctors. So my cousin drove me and his wife to go get the prescription first at CVS, and I was still feeling fine. I was sipping on water, and I felt like I was doing just a lot better after I'd laid down for that second time. And then we went out and got lunch, and the food made me feel better. I got a lot of food and like a lot of like healthy like veggies and stuff like that, and I felt like it really kind of recharged me, and so I felt great. And I was like, okay, listen, I can fly home tonight. Like if I feel fine. And also the flight home was only about 2 hours. So like even if I did feel really bad, I'd probably be okay because it's that short of a flight. So I get on the flight and I fly home, and maybe halfway into the flight I started feeling really, really bad again. And I was like, is this ever going to end? You know, I'd taken the medication, the antibiotics they gave me, and I'd taken ibuprofen and things like that, and like it was just not helping, obviously. So I got home, I got promptly into bed. I was feeling so exhausted at that point, and then I wake up in the morning and my throat, I couldn't swallow. Like I would cry if I was going to swallow. And I told my mom, and I was like, I think like we need to go talk to my doctor or something, because this is obviously not what they thought it was. If I can't swallow and I can't, like I just, like my nausea and my passing out feeling like was gone, but I still felt like I was going to cry if I swallowed anything, like even my own spit. It was so, so bad. So my mom calls my doctor, and he says, oh yeah, that sounds like strep throat. Which somehow the doctors at the ER didn't catch, that apparently when you have a really severe infection, like a strep throat type of infection, that is often accompanied by strong nausea and everything like that, because it's just setting your immune system crazy. So turns out I have strep throat, and it attacked, you know, other parts of my body before it really hit my throat. And even now you can maybe hear it in my voice, I'm still struggling to like swallow perfectly. It doesn't hurt anywhere near as much as it did, but it's still kind of painful. So yes, all in all, it was a very exciting experience, and I have a lot of respect for all the people who work in ambulances, as paramedics, as EMTs, as search and rescue people, as emergency room nurses and doctors, everything. So much respect for you guys. Your job is so important, and honestly, like I was 17, I'm 17, I'm a minor, I was alone in a new state without anybody nearby except for my cousin and, you know, Laura, who had already driven off. And I know that I could have called back, and Laura, if you're watching this, I know that I could have called you guys, and I'm so sorry that I didn't, but I really did not want to worry you because I thought I was going to be fine, and then I wasn't. But yeah, anyway, it's all taken care of now. So yes, that is the story of the time that I almost died at Disneyland in California, and that's how I ended my VidCon weekend. And I'm home now, and I'm safe now, and I'm on the mend, and I feel a billion times better, and I don't feel like I'm gonna die, I don't feel like I'm gonna pass out or throw up or anything. And yeah, so that's the story time. I've never done a story time video before. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's not like super intriguing to like hear about somebody getting sick at Disneyland and having to go to the ER, but to me it was like an adventure of a lifetime. Like it was crazy, and all those people were taking care of me and being so nice to me and wanting to make sure I was okay. And it was very, like, as weird as it sounds, it was actually very, very nice to like see all the good Samaritans in the world that are out looking out for people and looking out for everybody's well-being. So that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not already. If you like more storytime videos like this one, also make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. Super exciting things don't happen to me on a really regular basis, like I don't get arrested or anything like that, but if you'd like to hear some other storytime stories, I would love to share them with you. I'm currently working on a brand new video schedule. I'm not sure what the days are, but I'm going to be uploading a lot more this summer than I've ever uploaded before. And like I know I always say that, but this time I'm for real, because I'm just so excited to make content for you guys and to be back for my little 3-week hiatus. So yes, make sure to subscribe to see all those new videos, and leave me any video requests you may have in the comment section below. And if you want to see behind the scenes of any of the videos that I'm making, you should definitely follow me on Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram. I'll have all my links in the description box below, and also either, I believe it's this way, but it might be this way. If you're looking at me on the end screen right now, it's one of these ways. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and that you do not have strep throat right now, because if you do, like, strep buddies, stepsisters. There we go. I hope you're having a wonderful summer so far, and I will see you guys very, very soon in my next video. Bye.